even better player?
I just got done talking to my coach, D'Amico, and just talking about some things we can work on in the off season. And I know for me, I guess my biggest goal, something that I want to get better at, is just the game of football. Like I think that's my biggest thing that's holding me back, and just being confident in what I'm doing. So uh, I know for me, a couple guys that's been doing it for a while, like Bobby uh, and KJ, a couple guys from Seattle. I know Quan and uh, the other linebacker from the Saints. Just planning on working with them and just trying to get together as a group and just figuring out things that they see that help them play fast. And I just feel like as a linebacker, I'm just similar to the style, the way they play. So just getting as much information back from them and applying that to my game, I think would be huge.
Hey, Dre, when you say the game of football, could that help by you just watching the linebackers that you mentioned? And then everyone feels like Robert Saleh is going to move on. What's one thing that you learned from him, or maybe the most important thing that you learned from him during your time?
Uh, one of the most important. Oh, to your first question. Yeah, I think just knowing more, not knowing more, because I know football, but just the in and outs of. I mean, you never know what's gonna happen as far as next year with the coaching change and the defense we're running and all that. But just knowing the in and outs of football, everybody for the most part run a lot of the same things in the NFL and um, but it's about keys and it's about knowing what your eyes are supposed to look at on every single snap and just having that confidence of this is what this is my job and this is what I'm supposed to be doing and going to go do it as fast and aggressive as possible and it's nothing that I feel like Bobby and them and everybody that I mentioned it's the workouts and everything is going to be are going to be normal, but just getting to get with those guys and um, just picking their brains apart, just see how they been doing it for so long, and how they've been making the Pro Bowl just consistently and stuff like that. I think that's just the guidance that I need. Just being a young player and play linebacker for about 5 years now and just trying to learn as much as possible. But as far as Coach Saleh, I think the biggest thing that I've learned from him is as I've been hyping before and talking about the details of the game is the details. Just making sure that every guy's doing their job 100% of the time. As good as they can and as fast as they can, as violent as they can. And uh, and Solly said, hey. If we bring that to the every week to the game, then we're going to be the most dominant team. So just having that the mentality that he has and um, the mindset that he has. I mean, it carried to us as a defense and I think it's only I don't know where he's gonna go from here, but uh, I know that mentality is definitely going to stick with us and. I think the 49ers organization is a defensive organization, just as he said, and I think that wherever he do from now, I'm sure he's gonna be great at. But he definitely left a great legacy here, and he definitely got me better in a lot of ways.
Trey, after a season like this with COVID and the injuries and the move to Arizona, is there anything you have to do mentally to kind of, for lack of a better term, recover from that, from the mental and emotional toll that it took?
Definitely. Just being able to go home and be with my baby boy and just hanging with the family, I think would be the best emotional relief or stress relief that I can have. Just being able to not be with them for especially these last 5 weeks and throughout the season and having a son born in 2 months ago. It's just I'm eager to go home and and be with them and just to grow with him and watch him grow, and I think that's what I need.
Jake, are you there?
right, Dre. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
5 weeks or just coming into an unprecedented training camp and these Zoom meetings and we think we're practicing one day and then we get a call in the morning that everything's going to be virtual, and even though we have a game the next day, and it's just all those kind of things that I think I've just found myself and everybody just how adaptable we can be.
Hey, Kyle, just looking at your future and situation from a strictly on-field perspective, can you imagine a better just gets fit for you than this offense and the different you are utilized? And obviously, you're very rare in that you are a fullback. You're something more than that, obviously.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. That's a great question because it is tough to imagine being in a different offense that would utilize me the way that I am here. I think Kyle and Mike McDaniel have just done such a great job of finding the best way to put me out there on the field and put me in situations to succeed. So I owe them, so much for just the opportunities that they've given me the past 4 years. But it is tough to say. My position is so unique that it's easy to look around the league and say, not a lot of other teams are deploying a fullback as much as San Francisco is, but I'm going to pat myself on the back and say not a lot of other teams have me. So, there is that opportunity that, if there are other teams that, that don't have me yet, that could change in how they use a fullback, if I were to be on their team.
Hey, Kyle. To kind of piggyback off that, your adaptability, it kind of sounds like you feel like you could be a fit for a lot of teams, even teams that aren't known to deploy fullbacks like the 49ers. But because of maybe you see kind of an opening of other teams out there, not to tug on your emotions, but is this kind of like reality hitting you today that, up until this point, the possibility of hitting the free agent market is kind of a hypothetical, and now it's getting more real?
Yeah, no doubt. It's always something that, you talk about, you bounce around ideas. I mean, even, years before free agency, you're always just kind of throwing it out there, what the possibilities are, because, I've been through it before, and I will say it's an exciting time. It's nobody hates having a bunch of teams tell you how good you are and how much they want you. It's a good feeling, and it is an interesting exercise to, explore those opportunities, but definitely has, it hits a little bit harder when it's reality and you got me. It's right here in your face. So yeah, it's definitely hit me a little different this week.
Kyle, you mentioned the core group of guys. Could you explain how Jimmy fits into that core group, how prominent of a member he is of that core group, just sort of behind the scenes in terms of your friendship and just what he means to the locker room?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Jimmy's been here really, as long as everyone else. I mean, I know he missed, we traded for him about halfway through our first year here, and he's, been injured and whatnot, but Jimmy's still been here, and he's still been a teammate, a friend, all those sorts of things. We spend the off seasons together working with one another. So Jimmy's a huge part of this. And I know he's handling a lot of criticism right now and a lot of speculation and all that sort of thing, but I think Jimmy knows how we feel about him in the locker room. We've all, I think a lot of us have come up here and expressed that publicly, but he also, feels that from us personally, and just how we interact with him from day to day. And we all love Jimmy here, and we all have, 100% support for him.
One more, please, folks. David, go ahead. All right, we'll move on to somebody else.
Hey, Kyle, just want to follow up on something you just mentioned about the having been through free agency before. The fact that this is your second time through it. Are there things that are different in terms of what you're looking for in terms of, is it more important to make sure that you're on a contender and, maybe not just, getting the highest contract, things like that?
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot different this go around. I think I was 25 years old the first time I went through it. I wasn't even engaged yet, so there's just a lot of different family dynamics that come into play. I'm 29 now. I'm married. Like to start a family soon, so a lot of that comes into play. And like you said, I definitely want to be, a part of a team that's a contender. I've played in the NFL for a long time now, and I know I've been on both sides. I've been to a Super Bowl, and I've been on that 4-12 team, and I promise you, just for quality of life, that Super Bowl contending team was a lot more fun, and just was a lot better, to make it very simple. So yeah, I do think it's a little bit different this go around.
All right, thanks, Juice. Thanks, folks.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate you all.
Hey guys, we got Jason Verrett here for you.
Jason, as you face free agency, how important is it to you what type of locker room you would go into, whether it's going to be a contender or a rebuild? How important are those different factors in your decision-making process?
I haven't really thought about it too much yet. I know one thing, I'd appreciate everybody here from players, coaches, entire organization for rocking with me from day one. I hated that the season had to end the way that it did, and but I definitely have enjoyed my time since I've been here.
Jason, kind of following up on that, you've talked before about how important it was when you got there to have the facilities, the resources to help you through what you went through with your knee. Is that something that will continue to play a big factor in what you do next?
Yeah, absolutely. Coming here and seeing how they turn things around for me physically, mentally, it's kind of hard to not want to come back. It's kind of hard not to want to see if we could work things out, just because, like I said, it's a class act organization. They've done a hell of a job with me throughout my time last year and throughout this year. And so now that, I'm healthy and I love what my body is, it'll be a tough decision for sure.
Jason, with the adversity you've seen in your career and everything that went on this season, what was it like to go through it with this particular group of guys?
It was everything that you want, just because you could always see the fight within every play on both sides of the ball. We went through tons of adversity, And, nobody folded. Everybody stood tall, and every week we went out there and fought. So it just shows the type of group that we have, type of coaches that we have, and the culture that we have here that, everybody's going to, continue to try to rise to the top.
Jason, circling back a little bit, I think you probably can speak on this more than a lot of people in terms of the strength and the rehab staff that the 49ers have. Throughout this season, with so many guys getting hurt, a lot of fans will look to that staff and say, are they not treating these guys appropriately? Mm-hmm. Can you take us inside and see what better steps can be done so that the team's healthier in 2021?
I think it's the organization that we have here, the training staff that we have here, strength coaches. I think they've done a hell of a job. Injuries is just something that you can't, kind of predict or hope not to happen. Those just come with the game. But I think that we do a great job at adjusting when that happens, as far as getting those people on the right protocols and getting them back full strength. And obviously I'm a proven person of that, to seeing that, following the protocol that they have and to get you back full speed. I just think the luck wasn't really on our side this year when it comes to injury.
Jason, looking back at 2019, I think you may have played 4 snaps that season, and everybody thought that was a big disappointment and was terrible for you that you missed basically a whole other season. But when you look back on it, do you think that played a role in just how healthy you were this season and your comeback this season, that you had that whole 2019 to basically get right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, Kyle and John Lynch definitely played a huge role in that because they were trying to hold me back from myself. I was just so eager to get out there regardless of how I felt. I just missed the game. And, once they pulled me to the side, and the day that they IR'd me, we put a plan together. At first, I didn't want to go with that plan. I didn't see exactly what they were envisioning at that time, but obviously it worked out. And I definitely tip my hat to both of them for, seeing the plan that's for me and end up working out.
2 more, please.
Jason, I don't know if you've had time to kind of reflect on this season. I know it didn't go the way you wanted it from a team perspective, but for you personally, how meaningful was this year to be able to make it through and prove to yourself, maybe even beyond anyone else, that you could do this?
No, it was major. It was major. Just with everything that I've been through physically, being able to come back and had a year that I had, and I could only, go up from here. Being able to go into the off season where I don't have to worry about rehab, I could relax, and then, start back up in the next month or so. But I'm definitely proud of the way that I bounced back from it.
Last one.
Jason, how would you grade your season? Statistically, you had a very good season, and that probably doesn't even factor into the receivers you went against. So how would you grade your season? And then where do you feel like you could have done better this year?
I don't know what type of grade I could give myself. I just feel every week I go out there and put my life on the line to try to be the best player that I could be, put myself in position to make plays. But I always feel that I can improve each and every week. We're going against some of the best receivers in the game. So you're always going to be up for new challenges and things on the things that you can get better at. So I don't really have a grade, but I think I played overall solid, though.
Thanks, JB.
Yeah.
You guys will
George, you're on social media a lot. You've seen the talk about Jimmy. What is your opinion on what he brings to the team and what his future could be heading forward?
Well, gosh, I feel like I've been asked a lot of Jimmy questions since the end of last year. It's been crazy. Honestly, I've never had to talk about someone so much in my life. But, you talk about his leadership. You talk about the wins that he has, where he led us, where we've been without him. The wins that he produces. Just Jimmy's everything that you want in a franchise quarterback, in my opinion. I don't know why. I think sometimes he gets flack because everyone's like, well, his leadership is the first thing everyone brings up. Well, leadership's kind of a big deal when it comes to football. And if you don't have guys that lead the right way and lead by example and also lead, with their voice, especially at the quarterback position, I don't think you have the best shot of winning. And Jimmy's attributes that he brings on top of the leadership and the types of passes that he throws and getting us into the right plays. Everything that he does, he just kind of elevates the level of play around everybody around him because he expects greatness from his teammates, and I know he expects greatness of himself. And so when you're around a guy like that expects that out of you and requires it of you on a daily basis, it makes you a better football player. And I know that we missed him in the games that he didn't play this year, and guys step up, guys played well in his absence, but there's a reason we went to the Super Bowl with him when he played in all 16 games, including the playoff games. And I think it's definitely a reason that he'll bring us back, to where we want to be. And Jimmy's a good friend of mine, but I think he's also a hell of a football player.
Hey, George, can you maybe share with us what it was like inside, I guess, your team meeting, whatever it was like today, and kind of a message, whether you spoke up and what was the main message to everybody?
The main message was that our standard is to be competing for a Super Bowl year in and year out. And, this was not our standard this year. And, you can't really make excuses for it. And just that our expectations are to be in the playoffs next year and our expectations are to be competing for a championship. And all this offseason does is gives us, a couple months to sit back and watch other teams compete, in a position that we wanted to be in. And, I hope it grinds guys the wrong way that, we're not in that position because it sucks because you got close last year and then you're not even close this year, and it's not fun. You want football to be fun, and obviously you have to win games. And so we want to win games, and that's our standard. And so that's what our goal is this offseason. We have to stay healthy. So whatever that is, we have to figure out a way to keep our best players on the field. And then we just got to go out there and execute because I think we couldn't keep our best guys healthy, and we also couldn't execute in key moments. And definitely wasn't our favorite season as an offense. I think we had the second best rushing team in the NFL last year, and I don't think we were anywhere close to that. And it's a big part of what our offense does. I can't speak enough about our defense, the situations they were put in, and I think our offense, we had so many turnovers that put our defense in a bad spot, and our defense still was top 5 in multiple categories with so many guys down. And you can't say enough about our defense. And it's kind of on me, and we have 4 offensive captains, and our offense couldn't get it going most of the time. And so we have to definitely look and see what that issue was and how can we get better from it and how can we improve. And I think I know that Coach Shanahan I know that he's upset. I know that he wants to win, and he wants nothing more than to win. So I know he's going to do everything he can to put us in a position to win. And so I'm just looking forward to playing football again because, I'm disappointed with how the season went, and I would do anything to be playing playoff football right now, but just not the way it went. And all I can do is train my ass off and try to get back to where we were last year.
George, you mentioned health and having your best players stay on the field all season. You guys played into February last year, and then you were eager to get after it again, coming off of that disappointing Super Bowl loss. Is there any sense that played into the health, that there wasn't the period of recovery that may have been necessary? Or if not, what are your thoughts on why this team has been so damaged by injuries in recent years?
I mean, I can't use the extra month as an excuse because the Chiefs are 14-2 going into a first round bye. So, I mean, that's not an excuse at all. They figured it out and they figured out how to stay healthy. So, and they're playing really good football. So, I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of the injuries that we had this year, from ACLs to high ankle sprains to broken bones, I don't really know what you can do to train to prevent those types of things, to an extent. Like, it's football, things happen. We just kind of we got hit with a snowball, and then it went into an avalanche, and then we lost a lot of key guys right away. And, and we'd have 2 guys come back, and we'd lose 3. We'd have 1 guy come back, we'd lose 3. And that just kind of was the story of, definitely our early weeks of the season. So, I don't have an answer on how to stay healthy for the entire team. But I know that, obviously our training in the offseason, your mindset in the offseason goes into a huge part of that. And I know that the guys, the whole team, our expectations to be in the playoffs. And I know everyone has a bad taste in their mouth. And I think everyone will be very much motivated to hit the ground running whenever they start training. And I'm excited to see what our team looks like, come April, and hopefully we can have some OTAs and get some practice with the guys.
Hey, excuse me, George. Kyle Juszczyk was just talking. He got a little, it wasn't like bawling, but got choked just talking about free agency and the possibility that he may not, that he really doesn't know what's going to happen. Do you have a sense? Last year there was all the talk keeping the core together, and with some notable exceptions that did happen. But do you have a sense that just the financial situation is different, and maybe it's not going to be as easy to bring everyone back that obviously the team would like to bring back, a guy like Juszczyk obviously being part of that?
Money-wise, I don't really know. I just work here. And I know it's going to be a stressful situation for, John and Kyle. They have a lot of decisions to make, but, I have my trust in them because of where they got us and how they've built this team and the foundation that they've laid and the way they've done it, which is the right way. So, I'm excited to see what they do in their decisions. But when it comes to Juice and a guy that, since his first day here, he's made an impact on this team. He is, one of the main reasons our run game is the way that it is. And then he also makes plays in the pass game that you don't see fullbacks making. He never complains about reps. He never complains, about getting the ball or anything like that. And he just shows up and he works every single day. And, he's great to have. So, if I had to make a pitch to Juice, I definitely want Juice to stay because he's such a staple of our offense. And, like I said, we couldn't do a lot of the things that we do without him. The way that he fixes plays that, we might get a missed call and we might block the wrong guy and Juice will pick up that guy and it'll be an explosive play. And he's, in my opinion, he's a one of one. I don't know if there's anyone that does the things that he does on a football field. I also think he's incredibly underappreciated, but the people that watch football, the people that understand football, they get how, important Juice is. And so, yeah, I want to have Juice back because I think he's just such an important part of our offense. And he's not really just a cog in the machine that you can just kind of fill his spot because of all the extra stuff that he does. So, whatever decision he does make, he deserves to make whatever decision he wants to make because I think he is the best in the league and he deserves to be paid like that. And I'm just happy that he's, the level that he plays at every single day, raises the standard of everybody else around him. So, I'd love to have Juice back, but I'm not the GM. I'm not the guy that has to pay people, and I don't have to make those things work. But whatever Juice does, I'm happy for him because I know he's going to be a fantastic football player no matter where he's at.
Couple more for George, please.
Hey, George, you said yesterday you weren't going to touch a weight until February. And so that's the physical part of it. But what do you do to recover mentally and emotionally from a season like this?
Really, you just take some time to yourself. You really just got to, go back, watch the tape, see the things that you can improve on, see the things that you did well and how you can do those things better. I don't really know. If we went 6-10 my rookie year, and that offseason, all I did was try to get bigger, faster, stronger because I had no clue what was going on in the NFL. And after my second year, it was a little bit different because I felt like we were in the right direction. And then last year was obviously different. So, I mean, it'll be new to me this year to see how I can, what I can look at to improve, especially mentally. And I think that is such an integral part of the game is just, being mentally healthy and being mentally strong. And so whether that's, meditation, visualization, whatever it is, just to try to get your mind clean and ready for a fresh start. But, at the end of the day, you're still going to remember, this season and, the ups and the downs of it and the roller coaster that it was, and just try to improve upon everything that you possibly can.
Last one.
Chris, it better not be you.
No,
Don't
it's
do it.
me.
Oh, thank
Hi.
goodness.
Next year might be the first season that you and CJ could not be on the same team together. Can you share with us just how special that relationship is and just the possibility that you might not be on the same team together?
Wow. Thank you for that one. I wasn't ready for that one. I mean, I can't say enough about CJ. 5 years at Iowa together, coming in scrawny 18-year-olds, not a clue what to do, and completely torching our defense every single day and scout team, just having an absolute blast. To him leading us to a 12-2 season in the Rose Bowl, basically by himself he carried the whole team on his back, and then going to the NFL, being able to be on the same team as him, and got to play together our rookie year a lot and his second year a lot, and I've always loved CJ, and our relationship has actually, I think, gotten way stronger since we've been in the NFL, just because of he's a guy he's always believed in me, since my first days at Iowa, and when I wasn't playing and I struggled to get on the field, and even in the NFL my rookie year, he always said, hey, like, just keep after it because you're a hell of a football player. And when you have a guy that you can rely on every single day in and day out, like CJ, and I have someone to talk to about anything that I need to talk to, and someone that I trust with everything. It's incredible, and I don't think I've taken that for granted, and that CJ will be, one of my closest friends for the rest of my life. And I think when you play 9 years together, you definitely learn a lot about each other, and you change and you grow. But the consistency that CJ has kept with his competitive nature, and just like his love for his brothers, it's awesome to be around something like that. And I don't know what's going to happen with CJ. If he's, if this is, next year's the first year we don't get to play together, definitely it'll be different for me, because there's that familiar face and that, familiar, those conversations that you're allowed to have. And I think CJ's a hell of a quarterback, and I know he's going to get an opportunity to play. But I love the guy, and I will definitely miss him, but it's football and it's the league, and I'm learning that year in and year out how different the team is every single year, and I know that whatever opportunity he gets, he'll do very well at that opportunity, just because of the type of guy he is and the character that he has. And just being able to play with him for 9 years has been an absolute blessing, and he's definitely affected me in more positive ways than not.
Thank you, George.
Thanks, guys.
What's up, everyone? All right, we're still muted. Oh.
We need to be unmuted. Hold on.
We're still muted. I'm muted?
Yeah, you're muted. Hold on, let me see if I can do it in the back.
Is Tess not up there?
No, here we go. You're good.
What's up, guys? How we doing?
Hey Jimmy, can you just give us an update on where everything is with the ankle right now? If there's going to be any additional procedures and when you can kind of get back to doing everything full speed again?
Yeah, the ankle's doing good. We're in a good spot right now. It's progressed just the way I wanted it to, really. It's not at 100%, but it's it's really just about getting reps at this point, getting the endurance back to it, the durability and everything. And I think once we do that, it'll be in a good spot. So I'm pretty happy where I'm at.
Hey, Jimmy, so what's immediately ahead for you in the 2021 offseason? What do you have to do to get your body better prepared for, I guess, this coming season and just take control of this team again?
Really, it's all about being out there. It's all about availability. I know that, and I'm just. It's been a series of unfortunate events with the injuries and things like that. But one thing I'm excited about is just getting ready for this offseason, getting the body back to where it needs to be, getting ready for next season. It's there's so many things that I just have in mind and have planned, ready to go, and I'm ready to attack this offseason.
Jimmy, you're a former linebacker. You're a traditional weight room type of guy. Do you do anything differently this offseason? Do you try to change your body? Do you just chalk it all up to bad luck in 2018 and 2020, or do you try to do something a little bit differently this offseason?
Yeah, there's obviously a little bit of bad luck, but you can't associate everything with that. So, I always try to look for new things for my body, new things to eat, new exercises, workout routines, whatever it is. And so I always try to mix things up in the off season and try to find what works for me. But it'll be the same this off season. Just try to get advice from people, talk to people, see what they've done in the past, and it's just it's a bunch of things coming together, really.
Jimmy, in the past, you've spoken about how great the training staff is there. Obviously, with a lot of the injuries this season, they've kind of gotten a bad rap. Share with us what it's like, how you believe in them, and how, I guess, the public shouldn't be worried.
Yeah, those guys, they work their ass off. They really do, all of them in there. It's a great group in our training room, from the interns all the way to the top. The way they go about it is very professional, and it's just the right way to do it. And so I really appreciate them for that. But as far as, all the injuries and things like that, them taking criticism, there's things that we could prevent as players, but there's some things that just, happen on the field, and it's football, and, people are going to get hurt, and we know what we signed up for. But at the end of the day, it's just about, being available and doing everything you can to be out there for your team, and that's what's going to make us a good team next year.
Jimmy, as you know, a lot of your teammates have spoken fondly about you as a friend and as a person, and consider you, part of that core group that I guess Kyle Shanahan talked about in the meeting and wanting to keep you guys together. How important is being part of that core group, and how much does the locker room mean to you, and how much do you think you mean to the locker room?
It's just the group of guys we got here. I know you said about a core group and everything like that, and we have a great core here. We really do. But I think it's just the little pieces around that Kyle and John do a great job of bringing in the right people, and whether it's the custodian or whatever it is, just they bring in the right people. And when you have that many people thinking the same way, working for the same goal, it just leads to good things. And that's what we have going in this building. I think as far as our core goes, we got great core guys, from the captains all the way down to, the bottom guy in the totem pole. It's just, it's a great group that I love being around. I appreciate all those things the guys say about me. And it's just, I can't wait to get to next year, man. Honestly, it's been eating at me. But yeah, can't wait to attack this offseason and get to next year.
Hey, Jamie, I don't know if you can see me. I'm kind of new to this Zoom thing, so I couldn't get my camera to work. But hey, I think, myself and a lot of others have openly speculated on your future with the team. When you take, from your second injury on, looking at your contract and everything else. What have you, those quiet times, what have you thought about the organization and any decisions that might be coming in the off season? And frankly, what has Kyle and John told you? Have they given you any assurances that you will, in fact, be returning as the quarterback of the 49ers in 2021?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I honestly haven't put too much thought into it. All those things get said. But at the end of the day, I'm a 49er. I'm here to play quarterback. I'm here to be the quarterback of this team. And every day I'd go out there and try to prove that to my teammates and my coaches. And at the end of the day, that's what really matters. So, the people in this building, I love them. I love every one of them. It's just, like I said it before, it's a great group to be around. John and Kyle, I think they've talked to the media and said what they've said. And I love those guys for it. So it's, this is where I want to be, and I love it here.
Hey, Jimmy, you've had to kind of sit and watch a lot of this season, and I don't know how much you're on social media as much as George or something like that, but I'm sure you're aware of speculation. The 49ers should draft this guy, or they should trade this guy, and they should trade Garoppolo. And I mean, obviously you're very competitive, but does this kind of, as you think ahead to next season, get your competitive juices, I don't know, even more going? Just what's gone into this season and the conversation around you?
Yeah, it's more so just not being out there with the guys, with the injuries and everything. That's my main motivation. I mean, honestly, all the other stuff is, people are going to talk. That's kind of, I know what I signed up for and everything when I became a quarterback. But it's just, the people in this building is what I really care about, and people just that I'm around every single day. It's just, yeah, I mean, that's what I really care about. And all the speculation is going to be out there, but at the end of the day, you just got to do your job, come to work every day, come in with a good mindset. And we got a lot of guys with that mindset, and it's fun to be around.
You kind of answered this, but your teammates, Shanahan, talk a lot about how you're the same guy every day, no matter, what's going on. But with all the criticism, with the injuries, do you ever have your moments where you're just like, this kind of sucks?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, being injured, prior in my career, never really had injuries, so didn't really know how to deal with it. But yeah, it's kind of one of those things that it comes with the sport, I guess. But you just gotta I have to do my best to prevent it and do whatever I can in the off season to get my body right, to handle the whole season and just get my mind right in that way. But yeah, just the motivation that comes with the injuries though is something that is unlike anything I've ever had. Just, you're not out there with your guys. You're not out there with your teammates. It's, as a quarterback, it's really hard. And I hate the feeling. It's a very helpless feeling. But at the end of the day, I just want to be out there with my guys battling on the field.
Hey, Jimmy, looking back on when you returned from that ankle injury, in retrospect, do you feel like you came back too quick?
Yeah, I mean, the first time, the first time just, it's like I was just saying. I think I went 2 weeks without being out there, and it was just something that I don't like that feeling. I wasn't used to it, and I just wanted to be out there with my guys. And maybe I rushed it, maybe I didn't, but I wouldn't change it.
Jimmy, in 2018, when you had the knee, you did some things in terms of working with Mike Shanahan a little bit and some of that stuff. But also, you were still kind of new to the offense. You didn't have a whole lot of games under your belt. How different was it going through it this year in terms of your approach while you weren't out there, just in what you could learn and what you were trying to gather to make yourself better for next year?
It was pretty cool. Being up in the box, I would have the call sheet with me, trying to go through plays and just mentally being in the game as much as possible, talking to guys who were up there with me about the game. And there's little things that you could do that, having been injured for this most of the season, I had a lot of time up there. So got to figure out some things that could help me in the future. And I tried to make the best of the situation that I was in.
2 more, please.
Along those lines, Jimmy, the camera during games would sometimes find you up in the stands next to George or next to Richard Sherman, and you seem to be jotting notes from time to time. Is that part of the call sheet? Is that something different? Where did you pick that up? And then, sitting next to Richard Sherman, his knowledge on defense, how valuable was that to have that insight probably in your ear during a game?
I was actually just about to say that. I sat next to Sherm, especially these last couple of games. We sat right next to each other, and I really tried to pick his brain, just in a casual way, But at the same time, it was very. He's very insightful. I mean, Sherm's a very bright guy. Obviously, knows both sides of the ball, and just talking, schematics, scheme, whatever it is. He has a very interesting outlook on it. Honestly, I told him this yesterday at the game. I was like, dude, I've learned so much just in these last couple of weeks of talking to you. Because as a quarterback, you think you know defenses and you think you know what they're thinking, but now you talk to a corner who's been doing it for so long. It was very insightful. I learned a lot, and Sherm's one of my favorite teammates I've ever been with. He's just he's one of those guys you'd love to be around. Love his attitude. Love how he comes in every day, and just yeah, he's one of a kind. But yeah, that was pretty much what we were trying to do up there.
Jimmy, outside of your availability, what's an area you feel like you must improve on for you guys to get back to the Super Bowl again? And then how much of your play this season / struggles was due to your ankle injury?
I think just as far as next season, I go into the off season, I'll make a list of goals for myself. Whether it's work on my accuracy, work on intermediate throws, but the durability is number one right now. So we'll attack that. But then just as far as getting ready for next year, as long as the ankle's good, I think we'll be in a good spot. We got some good players. Keep everyone healthy, have a good off season. I think we'll be in a good spot for next year.
Last one, folks.
Jimmy, next year is a possibility where you're not going to have that same group in there, especially on the offense. Kyle Juszczyk was a little emotional about what it might be like for him next season. Same with George not being without CJ. How do you look towards 2021 and the fact that it might be very different?
It's tough. I mean, it really is. I've been in this league for a little while, and I've been on some teams where you go to the Super Bowl, you win the Super Bowl, whatever, and the next year the team is completely different. And so it's kind of the nature of the beast. That's how the NFL works. It's really tough. It really is, because you create friendships and relationships with these guys who you see them more than your family in here every day, and then all of a sudden it just comes to a halt just like that. So it's it's tough, but it's part of the business, I guess. But yeah, I'll miss all those guys, whoever doesn't come back, but it'll definitely be different.
All right, thanks, Jimmy.
All right. Thanks, guys.
You need to take my mask down?
Hey, Deebo, the fact that you couldn't really have an off season just because of your foot injury, do you think that had, I guess, just kind of a snowball effect, and you were never really able to be in peak shape, and that contributed to some of your injuries this season?
100%. I mean, before I broke my foot, I would probably say I was just in tune into everything, and just going down to Nashville, and the day I broke my foot, it was just like, wow, like what happened? So just really like trying to come back and get in the groove of things. I mean, this year I can count on both of my hands how many practices I had. So I kind of feel like due to the foot and then trying to come back, I never really got in the groove again, like to getting back to normal. And it was like, it's kind of putting more pressure on my body. That's why I was like, I would say like compensating on one side, know your foot still hurt a little bit, but you know what I'm saying, just trying to go out there and just do the best you can to support the team and help the team win. And it's just like, just compensating on one side caused other things to happen, which is how I pulled my hamstring twice this year. And it was just like, it was a rough year for me.
Following up on that, Deebo, what are your plans for this offseason? How is the hamstring, first of all, and when can you kind of get back to work, and what are your plans to take care of that?
I mean, first and foremost, health is the first thing that I'm concerned about. Getting my hamstring right is number one concern right now, and then after that, I mean, it's off to the races. I mean, the sky's the limit at this point for this team, and we know what the things that we're capable of, and know what type of team we have, from the coaches to the players to everybody else. It's just like we're just trying to get back on track, and then just this year was just like we just kind of caught bad luck due to injuries, and like. So I mean, I'm be locked in as soon as I get the clearance from the training staff here in February 1st, and then after that, it's off to the races.
Deebo, where is your hamstring at now? Like, how healthy is it? And then also, how disappointing was it for you this season to not be able to do what you're accustomed to doing, following the momentum you had from last season?
The hamstring right now, I would say like I'm probably like a week or two out being 100%, and I mean, this year clearly for me it was real rough. Like I dealt with a lot of injuries in my life and through college, and like here I had a bumps and bruises here last year, and then this past season, like I never like got down and like mentally like I did after I pulled my hamstring the last game I had. Like it took a toll on my body, and it made me realize like health is the most important thing in this league, and just being available. So I mean, this offseason, like I just stated, like I'm hitting the ground running, like no game's gonna be played.
Deebo, you and Brandon in your rookie seasons both had some of the best statistical years in team history. What impressed you about what Brandon did this year, and what do you think the ceiling is for you two as key members of a receiving core going forward?
I mean, as a Brandon, like my first time seeing him down in Nashville, I knew he was gonna be that guy. Like I knew he was gonna be the player that everybody, you know what I'm saying, thought he was gonna be. And then we just got here and just seeing him move around and the length of his arms and like how he take care of his body and all type of stuff. So what he did this year was expected, you know what I'm saying, from my end. And just knowing like next year, like he was a rookie this year, like it's a lot to learn as a rookie, and I learned a lot myself. So I mean, next year the sky's the limit for both of us. Like if you just see the things that I bring to the field, and you see the things that he brings to the field, like, and then along with Kittle and all the other guys that we got out there, I mean, the energy is gonna be unmatched, and just, you know what I'm saying, we just ready to get back on track.
Speaking of the other guys, a couple of your teammates got a little emotional just talking about next year and how things might be different. Is there a sense that this team could look very different next year?
I mean, honestly, I don't even want to think about it, honestly, because like all the guys that we have here, it's just like we done built the brotherhood with them, and like just to see somebody like that you're really close with and know like they bring great value to the team, may not be here, this, that, and the third. And, like I haven't really sat down and thought about it, but like I'm just like, now that you say it now, I'm kind of thinking about it, and it's just kind of crazy like how this league is. Like you never know what coach is gonna be here, you never know what player is gonna be here, this, that, and the third. But it was kind of rough. It's gonna be kind of rough though.
And Deebo, one of the key players, obviously, that you're going to be dealing with is Jimmy Garoppolo. So I'm curious, what can you guys do together this offseason in terms of maybe sharpening your chemistry? And then, I mean, what's this year been like with both of you rehabbing so much? Did you guys spend a lot of time crossing paths in the training room?
I mean, honestly, we was kind of rehabbing at different points of time. You know, me and Jimmy joke a lot. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Deebo, you coming out here to throw with me today or catch with me, this, that, and the third? Just the little things that, you know. Like, I love Jimmy to death. And, like, this offseason, I mean, the sky's the limit for everybody out here in the office, from the receivers to the backs to the linemen to everybody. We just got to come together and know what we got to do to be where we want to be.
Deebo, just dealing with all those injuries and then being in Arizona and just the weirdness of COVID and all this stuff, how did you get through it from a mental standpoint, and how did you not get down on yourself?
Man, I mean, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I got down a lot. I talked to Cal a lot. I talked to John a lot. Like, my mental has never been like there's been a couple days, like, you know what I'm saying, just sitting in the room and just thinking about, like, I use football as a getaway. So, like, when football was taken away, I mean, you just think about everything you've been through in life, and it just kind of breaks you down. And, like, I was going through it bad. Like, I talked to John and Kyle almost like 2-3 times a week just to keep my head on straight.
We'll do 2 more for Deebo.
Hey, Deebo. You said you could probably count on 2 hands how many practices you're at this year, but Kyle Shanahan said that there's guys in this locker room that when you go out to the practice field, like, it's just an uptick in energy. You're one of those guys. George Kittle's one of those guys. Jimmy Garoppolo. What is it about you guys that you kind of change the dynamic at practice, and have you been able to pick up on that when certain guys come back to practice?
I mean, I think it's just the energy, and the guys know, like, what type of energy and, like, what type of, like, stuff I bring to the field. So I think it gives everybody like another confidence boost. Like, whenever somebody come off an injury, you know. So I mean, I just think it's just a boost in the energy and the physicality and the mindset that I come out there with.
Last one.
Deebo, George went kind of through the same thing after his rookie year, learning about how to take care of his body, how to be healthier. Is there anyone that has helped you going forward, trying to maintain that health, or has it changed your kind of outlook on how to take care of your body?
I mean, this year, I mean, I really couldn't do too much due to the foot, and then come back and play 3 games, and then pull a hamstring, come back and play a couple more games, pull the same hamstring again. So, I mean, I really can't say much, but like Wes Welker and Jordan and Kyle and John harps on, like, being healthy, and, like, that's gonna be the main key to me being successful.
All right. Thank you, Deebo. We've got Fred Warner here right away.
Hey, Fred. A couple other players, a couple of your teammates have been in there, kind of emotional about the fact that this season is coming to an end. It's a relief, but also the fact that you might not have the same players there next season. How do you look at that? How do you kind of wrap your head around the fact that it could be very different next season?
Well, I think every year it's a brand new team. You know, we might have a lot of the same core guys, but the league is constantly changing. And, you know, obviously this year is very unique in the fact that we have a lot of free agents that need to be signed. And, you know, I'll let Kyle and John have to, you know, address that in the offseason. That's their job. And, you know, I just know how proud I am of this group for fighting this year. And every single one of those guys are my brothers. You know, I love every single one of them. I also understand the business side of it. And, you know, we have a strong core group. We're gonna keep this thing going. And I know the guys that we come in with next year are going to come ready to go. You know, we got the right mindset and, you know, the right guys in this building for sure.
Fred, you guys have made it back in that building for the first time in over a month. What is it like to be there? What was it like touching down late last night, being back in the Bay? And then how are you going to be sticking around there? Are you going down to Southern California for the offseason? What are your plans?
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. I'm not going to lie. It felt like this was like we were at an away game or something. Like it was like we hadn't been here in so long. I almost forgot what it looked like being in the locker room and, you know, driving up to the stadium. But just such a sigh of relief just to be back home, you know, just to even get back in my own apartment, in my own bed. It was great. But moving on towards off season, I'll stick around for a little bit, but I'm training in Southern Cal shortly, and I come back and forth training here with this staff and down there just to kind of mix it up. But I'll be back and forth.
Hey, Fred, I wanted to ask you about your contract now. Just kidding. Won't do that to you. You had, I'm sure you have motivation coming into this year, just about, hey, I'm a all-pro, I haven't been recognized as such. Now that you have, well, I assume all-pro, but, but now that you've kind of gotten this recognition, I know you said last night, I want to be 10 times better. Do you have to, I'm not sure if you're an athlete that kind of works like this, but do you have to find, okay, what's going to fuel me now? What's going to drive me this offseason to accomplish whatever it is your goals are?
Well, the Pro Bowl and the All Pro stuff like that, those are great, right? That's something that you want to achieve as individually in your game, and to be recognized in the Pro Bowl and hopefully in the All Pro team, that's great. Those things are not what fuels me to play this game at the highest level that I can. I'm playing this game for my family first and foremost. I play this game for respect. Ever since I came in this league, that's all I ever wanted was respect, and respect amongst my peers most definitely. That's my highest priority. Is when I step out on the field, I want them, I'd rather be respected than liked, and when I step out there, that's what I'm playing for, is that respect. And ultimately, I'm trying to win a Super Bowl. I'm not playing for Pro Bowls. I'm not playing for All Pro. I'm playing for that ring on my finger at the end of the year, and that's what hurts the most. End of this season, knowing that we don't even have a shot at it, it kills me. It truly does. And just kind of seeing the graphics, everybody making the playoffs this last night, and who's in, who's out, and knowing that we have no shot at it, it's been eating at me, and it's going to drive me that much more heading into this offseason, knowing that, when you have that, you've been there, you've played in it, it's just so much different, and then the following year not even have a shot at it, it's sick, and so that's why I'm going to come in to this offseason. I know it's going to be my best one yet. I have no doubt about it. I know I'm going to be very meticulous in the way I go about it. Everything's going to be planned out step by step, and you'll see a completely different player next year.
We'll do these last three for Fred.
Hey, Fred, as a captain and somebody who's on the leadership council, what's Jimmy Garoppolo's? How would you describe Jimmy Garoppolo's role on that leadership council and his captaincy, and how important is he to the locker room in your view?
Jimmy's one of the most natural-born leaders I've ever been around. Since the moment I stepped onto this team, he was the one that guys look to. There's certain points like before a game or after a game where guys are talking to the team or bringing the team up, and he's for sure one of the number one guys that guys look at to see that leadership role and to step up in those moments. And that's what you got to expect out of your franchise quarterback. He's a huge part in that sense, and as a player as well, you see what the record is when he's on the field compared to when he's not on the field, and stuff like that. So I got a lot of respect for Jimmy and love him to death for what he's done for this team.
Fred, you were mic'd up for that Week 9 game, and Aaron Rodgers afterward famously complimented you before you guys went into your separate locker rooms. I'm just wondering, was that sort of a common theme this season? Did you often talk with the opposing quarterback? And I'm not asking you to drop compliments on yourself, but what were the things that those guys would say to you if you did, including Russell Wilson yesterday afternoon?
Yeah, I think each guy I've gone against has showed their respect, and just going out for the coin toss yesterday with Russ, he told me how great of a year I've had and how much fun it's been to compete against one another. And obviously I feel the same in terms of him, and he's been doing it for much longer than I have at such a high level. So I got a lot of respect for Russ, but that's kind of just been how it's been all year, just the mutual respect amongst peers, and at the, like you said, at quarterback position.
Hey, Fred, with all the injuries and moving pieces you guys had on defense this year. It felt like you had to be a little bit more adaptable, maybe more multiple and doing different things than you might have even last year. How can that serve you well going forward, and especially if you have a new defensive coordinator?
Just the more you can do is the more valuable you are, I guess. And I try to do anything I can for the team, for the defense. Anything they need me to do, I'm obviously willing to do it and try and do it at the highest level to try and help the team win games and play the defense play at the highest level it can. That's just what I bring to the table, I guess. I don't know what else. Just with the pass rush and the the responsibilities and coverage and the run game, whatever they ask me to do, I'm gonna do it.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.